Hello SLAPAFISH community, welcome back to another World Tanks Constant video. So in this video, I'm going to be playing the STURMTIGER, which is a tier 10 TD, a German TD. Also, this is the biggest gun in the entire game, ranging at a 380mm caliber gun, or 38 centimeters, which is really huge. Now, the biggest gun that is not on the STURMTIGER line, because you get shrink down to a 308 on the bar, I believe it is. I think it's 308. It's in the 300s, I know that. But the next biggest gun that's not in this line goes to the T92 HMC with a 270mm caliber gun. If you're not looking at Arty or the STURMTIGER line, the next biggest gun is actually tied with 3 tanks. Technically 2, the 4005 and Cold War and World War II, and the Death Star at 183mm. 183 millimeters. So yeah, that's a big difference right there. From 183 to 380. So yeah. Now this tank, you play it as special, it's the tank to just do dumb stuff in. Now, if you notice, I have heat rounds and premium high explosive on this tank. So yeah, this is a tank that you do, if you want to do dumb stuff or you're just having a bad day, you just bring out the STURMTIGER and just have fun. So, let's go back to the rounds I'm carrying on this tank. I have heat rounds, which are my damage rounds. They do 1300 damage per shot. Which are the lowest hitting rounds on this tank. 280mm of penetration. Now, I also have premium high explosive that does 1700 damage with 115 damage as penetration. Now, the thing about the premium high explosive is they have huge splash radius, which is very funny. And they have a 12.86 meter splash radius, which is big enough to kill any tank that's hiding behind you. And also, I'm going to take a note that the armor of this tank is really good. I've already bounced the Panzer E100, which has one of the highest penetrations in the entire game. And also, I've bounced a Tron. I think I've also bounced another Panzer E100 shell. And yeah, give it a second, and here it is. That was the artillery shell, which I just bounced. The STURMTIGER actually has really good armor. It has 230mm at the front, at the upper hole, 190mm on its lower glacis plate. Now, back to that splash. 12.86 meters is big enough to kill any tank that's sitting behind you. Big enough to splash around a corner and kill a tank that's hiding behind a building that you would never ever hit, even with artillery shells. That is big enough to shoot a top of a building and kill the tank on the other side of the building. So yeah, it's big. Also, it is big enough to pretty much kill any light tank or kill anything that's on the move without even having to hit them. I think I actually hit them with that shell. Doesn't really matter if I missed or anything, they would have died. Also, such a high caliber, done 1700 damage. If you scroll back to the Panzer E100 shell I hit, Panzer E100 has really good frontal armor. Did like 782 to it. To the frontal armor with my high explosive shell. So yeah. Pretty much, oh yeah, loaded heat round. I should have just kept the high explosive round there. I would have done damage instead of just tracking them. Pretty much hit right below the gun and it went into its upper hole and did a lot of damage. What else? So, STURMTIGER. It's like a miniature Panzer E100. It's fast. Well, okay, let me explain something. It's not fast. It's faster than a Jaeger E100. Goes 38 forward, 14 reverse with a power to weight ratio of 13.38. It's got the big gun like I mentioned. It's also got armor like a Jaeger, but it's not as strong as armor as the Jaeger. Like I mentioned earlier, the STURMTIGER has 230 at the front, and if I go find a Yap Panzer E100, the armor is even stronger. It's 300, anywhere from 300 to 250 millimeters strong on its upper plate, where its gun is, and 200 on its upper plate, and 150 on its lower plate. So yeah. Also, one of the best pieces of equipment that you can put on this tank is the advanced reload, which I think it's called the advanced reload. I always get the two mixed up, the advanced loader and the advanced reload. The advanced reload allows you to switch shells without having to reload. Now that is really useful for this tank, and especially up through this line. And yeah. STURMTIGER. It's such a fun tank. It really is. And here's a heat round that kind of went bloop, and hit that guy for 1178, which is really good. Did 200 damage, about 200 damage less than its average, but hey, hitting somebody for 1178 is always really nice to do. This STURMTIGER, it's a very fun tank. You can play it when you're having a bad day and just fire nothing but premium high explosives and just auto-lock pretty much anything. Or just, you don't even have to auto-lock, just kind of fire off in the distance. And because you have such a big meter of splash, 13 meters of splash, you kind of just hit and kill things. And it's just fun. STURMTIGER is a load of fun. Right here, I'm kind of trapped. The left flank was doing really good while I was over there. And I noticed the base was actually not defended. Now, by the time I noticed it was not defended, it was never defended. Nobody actually went right up that hill. And it took me a while to realize that. And as soon as I did realize that, I turned around and came back over here to defend. And because I came back over here to defend, the left flank actually crumbled because we were pushing hard and deep and destroying tanks over there on the left flank while I was over there. I abandoned the flank because I thought they had it. Turned around and they kind of got annihilated. So yeah, right here I'm kind of struggling. It's a 1v7. STURMTIGER doesn't have a turret. It has pretty weak sides. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for a tank to come out here and just be like, hello. And I was trying to bait a shell from the Tron. Or just take a shell from the Tron and just kill the Tron. But it didn't really work. Anyway, STURMTIGER is a lot of fun. Get it, because it's just fun. Anyway, that's it for this video. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, SLAPAFISH, because why not? And peace out. See ya.